Okay, now we're gonna set up the face and set up the proportions of the face. And what I have is a clear plastic ruler, and I'm using it to measure this saucer here. You can use like the saucer that goes on the bottom of a teacup or a dessert plate, something smaller to trace your circle. I'm going to use a circle tracer. You can just draw your circle freehand if you are good at drawing circles. But for this tutorial, I'm going to pick this 5-inch saucer. And I placed that kind of about 1.5 inches from the top of the paper. Leave a little space on either side for your hair and your ears, and I'm going to very lightly I said, trace the circle. Here we go. Draw a line right down the middle of the circle. And I'm just going to, eyeball it for now. Like that. And you could go over it with a ruler if you wish. I'm also going to draw a line. Now that's a vertical line, meaning it goes up and down, like north to south. I'm going to draw another line going horizontally through the middle of that line. So I'm just going to trace it first. I like to always kind of like hand sketch something I plan on drawing. And then see if it looks close. It's a little crooked, so I'm going to go in and do another sketch line on top of it. Okay, and then use my ruler. Okay, all right, that looks a little bit better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, I'm going to go in about 1/2 inch on either side. Just go in and then draw a vertical line that's parallel to this vertical line in the center, and just chop off the curved left and right side of the circle like that. The reason why I'm doing this is because the side of your head does not curve outward like a basketball. You don't have a basketball head. You have a fairly flat area that your ears sit upon, and that's kind of like the area of the temples up here. So it's not that curved. So what you want to do is kind of cut those curves off. I can see Here we go. Just cut the curves off. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, even this doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It's okay. So once you have the face at this point right here, just make this a little bit more even. Left and right sides a little bit more even. Yeah. Look at this line segment from here to here, from here to here. Go down about 1/3 of the way. Right? This is 1/3, this is 2/3, and this is a whole. So this is like the whole line. It's about 1/3 of that line. Draw a line straight across to the right, and that's going to be your hairline. It's going to be your hairline, okay? This line right over here is going to be your eyebrow line. So let's call that the brow line. Okay? Now we need to place the eye, the actual eye somewhere, and I'm going to place it about 1/2 inch below the brow line. I'm going to draw another line. And that's going to be the line that goes through your eyes. It's going to be your eyes. Now go up here and look at this measurement up here. You see, you had 1/3. You went 1/3 of the way down to find the hairline. Now the rest of this measurement from here to here is about 2/3, right? This is 1/3. So then this would be 2/3 of this line segment. We're just looking at this one, okay? I want you to take this measurement of 2/3 and take that. You can even use like a little scrap of paper, or you can use your ruler, measure what that is, and copy that down here. That was like approximately 4 centimeters. 2/3, mark off this same distance right over here with a tick mark. That is going to be your nose line. And that's where the tip of your nose, I mean the bottom of your nose, like where the septum is, that little piece in the middle on the lower part, that's the septum. That's where the septum is going to approximately go. Okay, so that's your 2/3 line. The curve of the sphere down here, that is going to be your lower lip line. So this right here, that's going to go through your lower lip. That's not the line that divides your lips into upper and lower parts. That's a line that will go through the lower part of your lips. So your lips are going to be higher than that. So take this whole measurement here, and then another way of saying it is from here, put this entire measurement over here. So let's see. This says about 6 centimeters. I'm going to go to 6 centimeters about here. Now we are going to connect this, the bottom of this straight line, to this area right here. I'm going to create like a little flat curve, like a very shallow curve right here. That's the bottom of the chin. So I'm going to write chin. Right over here is going to be where the jaw will be. If you want a more heavy looking jawline, like if you're drawing a rounder face, or like a really angled jaw, like belonging to a man, you can make this jawline a little bit more angular like that. If you want a more feminine face, let's just make it a little bit more tapered like this. Okay? This is just a simplification, so I would give it more of a tapered jawline. Now there's different types of faces, of course. We have faces that are more heart-shaped, more oval, lots of different kinds of face types out there. We'll explore that in a moment, because some people do have rounder faces, some people have heart-shaped faces, some people have long oval faces, and some people have like squarish faces. Not like literally a square, but like that heavier squarish jawline. Okay. So now we know where everything is supposed to be drawn. So let's go over to the eyes and let's draw the eyes. When you draw the eyes, you should set them at least 1 eye distance apart so that you don't get tempted to draw them too close together. So here's the eye right here. Tosh. Okay. So here's my right and my left eye, and there's an eye in between. And then there should be about 3/4 of an eye, over half an inch of eye on the outside. You should never draw your eyes so that they hit the very edge of your face, because that's going to just be wrong. So you should be able to fit about 3/4 of an eye on the outside edge of your face. Oh my gosh, Tosh, stop. Okay. All right, so once you have placed your eyes where you want them, you could go ahead and draw your eye. Like I usually do, I cut off either the top or the bottom of my iris. And I try to imagine where the curve for the top of the iris is that I cut off to place the pupil in the correct spot. Like that. And then I'm going to leave that little white bubble in the center. Erase that part of the pupil. erase that part of the iris that's covered by the eyelid and draw my eyelid crease like that. I'm going to draw my tear duct on the inside corner. And now what I'm going to try to do, and this is not easy, is to draw the mirror opposite of this eye on this side here. So I'm going to draw my whole iris like that. And just so that I can figure out where the pupil should go. Right there. Should be similar to that one. This eye is a little bit more closed, so let me just open it up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to make my eyelid and the tear duct there. All right, once you've got your eyes placed, you can erase the placeholder in the center where the bridge of the nose would be and the side eyes, okay? And you could go ahead and color in the iris, the colored part of the eye. So this person is going to have light brown eyes. I'm going to also shade the white of the eye. And I'm also going to put in those little lines that radiate from the center. Don't eat all of those. It's for Lahi. Alright, I'm putting a little bit of shading on the top. I'm also going to put a little bit of shading around the outside edge of the eye to kind of make a little bit more contrast between the eye and the white part of the eye, a little bit more contrast. And then I'm going to take my eraser, could be my pencil cap eraser, whatever your eraser has a little bit of a point, and I'm going to lighten up like the bottom half of the eye like that, just make it nice and bright. With my pencil, I'm going to start to draw in the eyelashes. And just like wings, they kind of like curve like outward, like this in opposite directions. So the curve is also a mirror image on the opposite side of the curve of the eyelashes, I mean. Okay. Also, I'm going to draw like that little edge of the eyelid line here. And I'm going to draw my lower eyelashes coming out from there. Okay, make the lower eyelashes definitely a little shorter. And don't make the eyelashes, you know, too crazy long. It's going to look fake. Okay. Putting a little bit of shadow right here at the corner of the eye. Like that. And I'm going to draw my eyebrow right along this line. I'm going to start, well, I could start a little bit below that line. And, oh, the first thing to do is figure out what kind of shape and just block it in. So I want to I want to make sure that my eyebrows are very symmetrical. Like the left looks the same as my right. You know, mirror opposites, of course. So I'm going to use this line here for reference and try to draw something similar on each side. Okay. So I'm drawing kind of like the outline. And then, let me see if I can. And then I'm going to go in with the individual hairs. And I'm using a 2B pencil. And I'm just going to draw my hairs a little bit vertical in the beginning. And then as I come toward the center, I'm going to start extending them, making them a little longer, and laying them down. That. Then have some eyebrows come, you know, down from the top here, right along the tail. So now I've kind of filled it in with hair. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Like I said, it's really hard to draw the opposite side because I'm right-handed and I tend to draw things on the right a little bit better than I draw things on the left. Here we go. If you want your eyebrows to look a little darker, then switch to a 4B pencil and just kind of darken up the roots a little bit. And I flicked my pencil to get like some line variation. So my pencil line gets a little thinner when I flick it, and you know, when it lifts from the paper, hopefully the line will look a little more delicate and thin in those areas. And sometimes I like to just put a couple loose hairs here to make it natural. Little small loose hairs. There we go. All right, let's talk about the nose next. So the next item on our practice sheet will be noses. How do you draw a nose? The thing about a nose is it's really, besides the bottom, 2/3 of the nose is just built with value and shading. So you can't like literally draw a line to represent that unless you have a really, really angular, really clear-cut angular nose. If you have like a soft featured nose or a flat nose, it's really hard to find like the sharp ridges of the bridge of your nose and the dorsum, which is the center part. So it just depends on what type of nose you have. And there's, you know, a great variety of shapes of different kinds of noses. Just like you have different kinds of eyes. Just a great variety. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I like to draw faces, because it's just, everybody's so different. It's really fascinating. Here I'm putting a little bit of shading right here on the outside here. That's not hair. Just keep in mind, that's not crazy eyebrow hair. That's just the shading. And then I'm taking my paper towel that I folded into a cone. And I'm just trying to make the center part right here kind of bulge out a little bit. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the nose. So let's move on to the nose.